Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amir Hoda bin Muhammad Azwan. Me and my groupmate from UiTM Pahang Kampus Singka are going to share a video about the health and safety awareness in the laboratory. At the laboratory. So, what are we going to achieve from this video? First, we want to spread the awareness among the community, so that the student like you able to know what you have to do at the laboratory. The second one, to let people work in the laboratory as professional. So to let the student like you to work as a real scientist. What they always do in the laboratory? We are going to tell you about it. First and the third one is to decrease the incident occur during conducting experiment in laboratory. So when you have the knowledge to know the safety in the laboratory, so the incident can be avoided. Okay, now we are going to go through one by one about the health awareness. So the first one I want to talk about is to do not eat or drink at the laboratory. So why we can eat or drink? So the laboratory is exposed by the many material that is harmful for your body. They might be the wood dust, or maybe aerosol spray, or maybe a liquid substance that have been sprayed out on the table, and direct contact with it might leave the chemical in your hand. So if you eat or drink if you are going to eat and drink in the laboratory, the chemical on your hand might entering your body. So this situation might be still dangerous lah, because they may inflict some bad implication towards your body, like maybe you can get lung cancer, or maybe you get chemical poisoning. So you have to be careful to not drink or eat at the laboratory. Alright, now we are going to go to the second point. So the second point is to don't taste or sniff the chemical. Alright, when you are conducting the laboratory, the experiment, you have to be careful to not directly taste it or sniff it, the chemical. Alright, there are a lot of chemical, especially the liquid and gas one. And this type of chemical, if you read the label in the bottle of the chemical, you might see a lot of symbol, alright, such as corrosive, skin irritation, oxidizing, and flammable material. So this material is very harmful to your body, and consuming it in your body might belittle your body and give a very bad implication. Right, so always be careful when handling the chemical. And so the third point is to pay very close attention about your personal hygiene. When you are in the laboratory, your hygiene is very important. Before you enter the laboratory, when you are in the laboratory, and after you go out from the laboratory. So you have to be careful and always aware about your hygiene. So what you have to do is to first to wear your lab coat. It is a must when you are going in the laboratory. The second one, is you to always use glove and goggle when conducting any experiment or using any liquid substance. And the third one, always wash your hands after you have done doing your experiment. wash it with a good amount of soap and water. So basically these things or you are already doing it when you are in COVID-19 pandemic. So it's basically the same thing. So it's too easy to follow, right? So that's it from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi, my name is Amir Haikal bin Har Hisham. Me and my team will present to you guys about safety and health awareness in a laboratory. Jadi pada hari ini kita nak membincangkan mengenai tajuk kita adalah safety and health awareness in laboratory. Apa yang kita nak bincangkan sebenarnya kan untuk tajuk ini. Jadi mari sama-sama kita saksikan. Okay, first of all, safety and health awareness in laboratory. What you will get from this slide, what you will get from this presentation, what you will get from this explanation. First of all, we need to educate student about the safety in the laboratory. We will tell the student about the safety and how the rules in the lab works. And then second is explain the do's and don'ts in laboratory, what you can do in laboratory and what you need to prevent to do it in the laboratory. And then last one is share with student about the common rules in laboratory. Okay, sebenarnya kita kat dalam lab ni pun ada rules-rules yang common lah sebenarnya yang biasa kita amalkan sepanjang lab session kita. Okay, jadi inilah yang mungkin kita nak terangkan dan juga kongsikan kepada anda semua mengenai tajuk kita pada kali ini. Alright, for the first part for this topic is know the location of the safety equipment. Okay, in this topic we will explain to you guys why you need to know where the safety equipment was located, and then what will happen if we know that a safety equipment, where they put it, and so on. Okay. Okay, first thing first, if we know where the safety equipment was located, is we can prevent and eliminate hazard. Okay, the explanation is we can avoid any possibilities of error that cause injury while performing the experiment. Okay, if we don't recognize or we don't arrange the tools of a safety equipment, they might be mess up our table when we do the experiment, and it might cause some errors and also maybe cause some injuries in during the lab session. Okay, jadi sebenarnya kita boleh aturkan balik kedudukan dan juga sebenarnya kita boleh elakkan sebarang masalah berlaku sekiranya kalau kita susun betul-betul safety equipment yang kita ada. Okay, for the second one, if we know where the safety equipment was located is immediate action if accident happen. Okay, we can move faster lah. If something bad happen during the lab session, immediate action can be taken in the event of any injury without the need to panic. Okay, kita tak perlu nak panik, kita tak perlu nak gelabah dah. Sebab apa? Kita dah tahu where the safety equipment, where the tools was located in the lab. Okay, we just need to take an action untuk merawat dan sebagainya kan. Tak perlu dah nak panik kat mana, where they put dan sebagainya kan. Okay, and then it is easy to check periodically the facilitated management for inspection and maintenance processes. Okay, sebenarnya kalau kita dah tahu kat mana sebenarnya kita susun ataupun kita letak safety equipment contohnya kan, it make it easier lah for the management to inspect the quality of the product, and also to maintain the quality. Okay, to menjagalah, untuk kita menjaga maintenance barang tersebut. Okay, sebab kalau mungkin dah sampai pada tarikh luput dia, kita perlu tukarkan equipment tu. Okay, tadi kita dah tahu where we put that the safety equipment in the laboratory. Okay, now we move to for the next topic, which is don't experiment on yourself. When you do the experiment, you cannot simplify to do on yourself to smell and so on lah. Okay, we will explain after this. Okay guys, don't do it to yourself in a laboratory session. Okay, there are three things that I highlighted here, which is smell, taste, and also touch with bare hands. Okay, how about the smell? Okay, please don't smell easily your substance, your chemicals, and also because some chemicals are very dangerous, are very poisonous. Okay, for us as a human, because the poison are high concentration. Okay, it might be some um, disinfection and also failure function. Okay, about our organ. Okay, dia menyebabkan kita punya susah bernafas kalau kita bau certain chemicals. Okay, jadi kita tak boleh sebenarnya untuk kita ni bau suka hati sahaja. Okay, sebab dia sangat berbahaya, especially the substance produce a colored vapor. Okay, warna-warna yang terang, warna-warna yang gelap dan sebagainya is very dangerous for us to smell it. Okay, second, we cannot taste easily. Okay, kita tak boleh nak suka hati je rasa walaupun kadang bau tu manis, bau tu sedap dan sebagainya. Please don't put in your tongue. Okay, jangan letakkan kat kita punya lidah sebab dia akan menyebabkan mungkin keracunan yang mungkin akan menyebabkan inflamasi dan juga menyebabkan banyaklah perkara-perkara yang akan berlaku sekiranya kalau kita letakkan chemical that substance, raw substance dalam badan kita. Okay, and then for the safety and the precaution, please don't touch with bare hand. Okay, all the chemicals, if we go to university life, in the laboratory, kita dinasihatkanlah untuk kita memakai glove sebab certain chemical are very acidic. Okay, and also it might causes injuries and also corrosion lah. Okay, dia akan menyebabkan tangan kita terhakis dan sebagainya, dan dia akan menyukarkan untuk kita membuat eksperimen. Okay, so these three things, don't do it to yourself when you do the experiment. Okay, as Imran Bat said, love yourself lah. Okay, so kat situ sebenarnya dia mengajarkan kita untuk kita sentiasa berjaga-jagalah apabila kita melakukan eksperimen. When you do experiment, please take care of yourself. Please prioritize the safety in your lab session. Alright, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Azim bin Muazzam from class AS1205M. Now, point number 4, that is, wear your PPE and proper lab attire. Proper lab attire should be worn at all times in the lab. First, you need to wear long pants and shoes. Long pants and shoes completely covering the top of the foot should be worn at all times when working in the lab. Next, lab coats. Lab coats will protect your clothes and your skin from splashes, spills, or other exposures to chemical or biological agents and flames in some cases. Next, glove. Glove will protect your skin from hazardous materials your hands may come into contact with. Remove the glove before you exiting the laboratory. Next, safety glasses. Safety glasses or goggles will protect your eyes from physical or chemical harms. Skin will heal after minor burns or laceration, but your eyes will not. Eyes are fragile, and safety glasses take about 3 seconds to put on, and eye injury can be permanent. Next, point number 5. That is, know what to do with lab accidents. This point is just for your information. If accidents happens, if you can prevent it from happening, it is good for you because accidents with chemical are so dangerous. Firstly, chemical in contact with the eyes. If a chemical splash in the eye, flush with tepid water and running water for at least 15 minutes before seeking medical treatment. Make sure the victim turns their head from side to side and allow water to run across both eyes. Next, know how to use all safety equipments in lab. You need to know the location of and how to use all safety and emergency equipment such as safety shower, eye wash, first aid kit, and fire extinguishers. Next, the important safety rule is telling a teacher. You must to tell your teacher if and when an accident happens. Don't lie about it or try to cover it up. It is because if you get exposed to a chemical, bitten by a lab animal, or spill something, there could be consequences. And the danger isn't necessarily only to you. If you don't get care, sometimes you could expose others to a toxin or pathogens. Also, if you don't admit to an accident, you could get your lab in a lot of troubles. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Husni. So I'm going to explain to you guys the fifth and the sixth point of safety in the laboratory. So before that, I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to explain it fully in English. So there might be some Malay language just to make sure that you guys understand. And yeah, I'm not really good in English, so sorry. Okay, so the fifth point is don't play mad scientist. So apa tu mad scientist? So act responsibly in the lab. Don't play mad scientist in the laboratory. Randomly mixing chemicals to see what happen. So daripada situ kita nampak, so mad scientist is something like kita ambil some kind of substance and then another kind of substance, just try to mix it just to look like you're such a genius scientist and then gonna see what happen. No, don't ever do that, because we never know what's gonna happen. Might be there's gonna be explosion, there's gonna be fire, or maybe some toxic gases. So if there's something bad happen, you are the one who are responsible about what happened in the lab. So that nak kata very dangerous to ourselves lah. Since you guys still a student and I also as a student really doesn't need to do that. You just need to follow the procedure what in the lab manual, just follow that. Doesn't need to try be a mad scientist, okay? Because if that things happen, they can really affect ourselves. Maybe some injuries, yeah, some like explosion boleh luka, or fire boleh burn our skin, toxic gases boleh affect our lungs. So and then bukan nak kata contoh in case that things happen, it's not only affect ourselves but totally the other our classmate also, our friends, the teachers, and also the lab assistant, everyone in this in that lab. So please don't play mad scientist. I swear. Please don't do that. So then, moving on to the next, the sixth point, which is dispose lab waste properly. One important laboratory safety rule is to know what to do with your experiment when it's over. So, for example, bila kita dah habis satu eksperimen, so there must be some waste, of course. So, after that, we need to know how macam mana kita nak dispose benda tu. We can't just simply just throw it into our sink, into the dustbin, or just throw it anyway. We can't just do like that because might be there's some There's some effect that can be happen if we just throw it like randomly anywhere. So that's why we need to get some advice from your teacher or lab assistant on how to dispose the waste. Meaning that before kita buang apa-apa, kita kena tanya cikgu or lab assistant how to dispose that things, how to dispose the waste. Okay. For example, I give a scenario. The final result of your experiment is something that really react with water, and then you just simply throw it into the sink. So what happen if you open the tap and then the water just masuk dalam sinki and then mix it with the substance yang react dengan air. So there might be an accident gonna happen. And for another example, as we can see the graphic in this slide, where a guy wearing full protection, nampak dia buang that waste into the biohazard bin. So nampak dekat situ kita kena kenal pasti sama ada this thing, the waste tu boleh buang dekat sinki, or maybe boleh buang in the dustbin, or maybe ada specific way to dispose it. That's all.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Adli bin Muhammad Nazri. In this video, I want to talk about use proper storage container in lab. Principle of safe storage. All chemical container must be labeled. The container must be labeled with name of substance and hazard category. Do not store chemical under sink. Mungkin pipe sinki mungkin akan bocor dan akan menyebabkan berlaku tindak balas dengan bahan kimia. Use sensible self-storage. Rak yang digunakan mestilah tidak terlalu tinggi dan kita dapat mengelakkan daripada menggunakan bangku untuk mencapai barang tersebut. Store large breakable container below shoulder height sebab ia terbukti tidak melebihi pada bahu adalah paling selamat untuk barang yang berat. Okay, next. Storage of different material. Setiap bahan kimia ada ciri-ciri dia. Acid must be safely stored inside container made from glass. Kenapa tidak simpan dengan bekas besi atau kayu? Kerana asid bersifat menghakis. Flammable solvent, bahan yang mudah terbakar, must be stored in metal or wood cabinet with a minimum fire resistance of a half hour. Besi dan kayu dapat mengurangkan api daripada mudah merebak. Chlorine solvent must store in ventilated cabinet separately from flammable solvent. Bahan ini mudah menguap dan mudah terbakar. Oleh itu, ia perlu disimpan dalam bekas yang mempunyai pengudaraan yang baik. Next, alkali must store separately from acid. Walaupun ia adalah bahan yang menghakis, tetapi alkali dan asid tidak boleh dicampur dalam satu kawasan yang sama kerana ia akan berlaku tindak balas. Chemical waste must store in non-reactive container. Sisa bahan kimia yang kita dah guna tak boleh dicampur dengan bahan yang belum digunakan kerana bahan yang digunakan mempunyai pelbagai gabungan bahan kimia. Okay, I want to talk about stay focused and aware about surrounding because it is very important when doing experiment in lab. Why we must focus and aware? Kenapa kita perlu fokus dan berjaga-jaga? A lab can be very busy environment. In lab have lot of different hazard. Dalam amal tempat yang sibuk, ia akan jadi tempat yang bising dan sesak. Bahaya boleh datang daripada bahan kimia yang kita guna dan barang yang kita pakai. How to stay focused and aware about surrounding. Bagaimana cara kita nak fokus dan berjaga-jaga terhadap sekeliling kita? First, avoid using headphone. Jangan pernah guna headphone ketika membuat eksperimen. Ia akan menyebabkan kita tidak fokus. Next, aware with what type chemical we want to use. Kita mesti kena tahu bahan apa yang kita tengah uruskan. Adakah bahan itu menghakis atau mudah terbakar? Jadi, apabila bahan itu mudah terhakis, kita mesti pakai sarung tangan. Dan kalau bahan itu mudah terbakar, kita kena jauhkan sumber api. Seperti penundu bangsen. Store unnecessary thing on table and put the lab bench under the table. Benda yang kita tak perlu guna, macam buku. Buku bekas pensil, kita perlu letak tepi. Kumpulkan satu kawasan yang selamat. Dan bangku makmal perlu diletakkan di bawah untuk elakkan daripada kita terlanggar waktu tengah buat eksperimen. Work with purpose. We must know what we want to do in lab. Kita kena ada target. Kita tak boleh guna bahan kimia dan barang eksperimen macam tu je. Kita mesti kena tahu apa yang kita tengah uruskan supaya kita fokus dan berjaga-jaga ketika membuat eksperimen. I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching my video and I hope you guys can understand. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Wan Kamil Firas bin Wan Yusani. So I'll talk about the safety in the laboratory. So the next safety that we must follow in the lab is don't work alone in the laboratory. We should avoid working alone in the laboratory. Working with hazardous materials and equipment always poses risks to research, health, and safety. However, these risks are heightened when working alone because health is not readily available in case of a mishap. As we all know, in chemical lab especially, there are a lot of chemical, which is the dangerous chemical. Sometimes you may get hurt by chemical like bromine, because some chemical will knock you out if you breathe them in. If you're alone, no one can save you, so there will be less chance of a first responder getting the information about the chemicals in time to help you. So if you are still thinking to work alone in the laboratory, there's a few steps that you can follow to reduce the risk of working alone. So firstly, do not perform any tasks that are not appropriate for working alone. Then second, reduce the amounts of hazardous material used. Third, know the location and maintain clear access to the emergency equipment, such as the emergency shower and also the fire extinguisher. And fourth, you can implement a buddy system. So, if at all possible, avoid working alone in the laboratory. If solo is unavoidable, work during prime or maybe a peak hour, or make sure someone is nearby or working nearby. Try to enlisting a partner to work with you. Do everything you can to prevent or working alone. So last but not least, safety that we should follow in the lab is leave the experiment at the lab. It is important for your safety and also other safety to leave your experiment at the lab. Don't take it home with you. Remember, don't take it home with you. You could have a spill or lose of specimen or have an accident. This is how science fiction movies start. In real life, you may hurt someone or also causes a fire, maybe a little or also a huge fire, or lose your lab privilege, which means you can use your lab anymore. While you should leave lab experiment in the lab if you want to do science at home, there are so many safe science experiment you can try. There's a lot of things you can use in your house, such as you need the sodium chloride, you can use salt, and yeah, your detergent also chemical. So there's a lot of things you can do at home. So that's all from me. Please remember all the safety and health that you must follow in the lab. Thank you.